Nigeria takes delivery of more than 4 million doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccines from United States.
The advice would be to continue to get vaccinated.
Compliance with court order, Department of State Services produces 8 aids of Sunday Igboho as Kano strengthens community policing.
We have made a lot of progress.
Also tonight, Senegal partners Nigeria in oil and gas sector. Good evening and thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. I am Kene in Abuja, and the Hingeno John Adams will be joining us from Lagos. Let's start from health, as Nigeria has taken delivery of 4,080,000 doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine from the United States government as efforts to curb the third wave of COVID-19 intensify. Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, while receiving the vaccines at the National Strategic Cold Store, Abuja, assures its prompt distribution to the sub-national levels after getting NAFDAC certification. Oluseyi Adabu has details.
Updates from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) indicate a surge in the nation's COVID-19 cases. The latest of its variants, the Delta variant, is of more concern as it is said to be more dangerous. The arrival of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine is considered a boost for the national response, and medical officer World Health Organization testifies to its efficiency in offering protection against COVID-19.
Nigeria has a good monitoring system of AEFI, so the vaccine is highly effective, so more over 94%. So the advice would be to continue to get vaccinated.
Once NAFDAC says we are good to go, we've already laid out a very comprehensive logistic deployment plan, working with CACOVID to make sure that these vaccines get to the subnational level as soon as possible.
Dr. Faisal Shuaib also explains that 60 units of ultra-cold chain equipment have already been procured by the federal government, and each state of the federation, including the FCT, has received one to aid proper storage of the vaccines. More doses of COVID-19 vaccines, combination of the Oxford AstraZeneca as well as Johnson & Johnson, are also expected in Nigeria before the end of the year. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adabu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 32 cases of the Delta variant of COVID-19 have so far been detected in 5 states in the country. Chairman of the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, at the national briefing in Abuja, says the rising nationwide positivity ratio, currently put at 6%, is worrisome. Betaira Yiben reports.
Experts say it's 60% more transmissible than other COVID-19 variants is generating concern in the country. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 is particularly worried about the situation in Lagos, Akwa Ibom, Oyo, Rivers, and the FCT, where the Delta variant is said to be prevalent.
Now, the biggest batch of sequencing that we got this morning was out of Akwa Ibom. So out of 23 cases there, 19 were the Delta variant. And that's why I said 80% of the cases in Akwa Ibom today turned out to be Delta. So that is likely, that is the most likely cause of the increased transmission we're seeing suddenly.
This development calls for great caution because the virus is very virulent. We must therefore keep observing the non-pharmaceutical interventions and also ensure that we get vaccinated.
We're also considering strategies to scale up testing and to identify cases for isolation and treatment.
Diplomatic measures are also being taken to prevent further importation of the virulent Delta variant.
For non-restricted countries, the diplomats coming from those countries just have to have that 72 hours prior PCR test, and then within 7 days do a test in any accredited private laboratory.
The PSC advises Nigerians to avoid non-essential travels and comply with all COVID-19 protocols to contain the virus. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In another development, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors have again embarked on another industrial action following what they called non-compliance with the agreement between the body and the federal government. Serafina Okono-Mekwe monitors the situation in the Federal Capital Territory.
State General Hospital, full medical services were rendered to patients. This man by name Yusuf said he got to the hospital at about 6 o'clock in the morning, but doctors on call could not attend to him as a result of lack of bed space. As at 11:46 a.m., when they finally got a space, he was told that his grandson had passed on. The story was different, however, at the National Hospital, as skeletal services were being rendered to patients at the GOPD ward, while some were asked to return a month after as a result of the strike.
I brought him for abdominal scan. We're here since around 6 a.m., but we're told that the doctors were on strike, that we should wait. Maybe they might decide to do the scan for him, but we keep waiting and waiting. Up till now, they've not called off the strike.
Came since as early as 6 o'clock. So because they refer me to do chest x-ray. So when Anna came here, they said the doctors is on strike. They now booked me 8 September.
Chairman of the Resident Doctors National Hospital Chapter, Akanimo Ebong, says after more than 113 days of agreement entered with the federal government, no tangible result has yielded as allowances are still not paid across board.
The strike is an indefinite and total strike. We don't like strikes, as I always say, but we have to go on this strike. We have some demands. We hope that the strike doesn't last and the government to quickly agree to these demands. We hope to negotiate and then come to the end of this impasse as quickly as possible.
Serafina Okono-Mekwe, NTA News.
Let's go to education, where the federal government has made appreciable progress in implementing the 2020 Memorandum of Understanding MOU it signed with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, including release of the 40 billion naira revitalization fund. Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, made this known after a meeting between representatives of the government and ASU. Joseph Otsen reports.
This meeting is one among others between representatives of the federal government and Academic Staff Union of Universities to assess level of implementation of the 2020 Memorandum of Understanding MOU signed by both parties. At the end of the closed-door meeting, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, says major demands of ASU, such as earned academic allowances and funding for revitalization of public universities, have been met.
We are hopeful that after this week, the releases will be done, because the final report of the audit being done by the implementation committee will have been finished. Apart from the end allowance of 40 billion which we paid, that for the 2021 year that is captured in the 2021 supplementary budget of the Federation.
So what they have done now is that when they release a team, even made up of our members also were sent to look at all of them, so that universities that have poorly mismanaged that fund will be account for it before they get the next one.
ASU hopes for full implementation of the MOU on time to improve standard of education in Nigeria's universities. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Away from education, the federal government is targeting up to 75% access to electricity of more than 1.5 million households annually by 2022. Minister of Power Saleh Maman, in a message to the ongoing International Power Engineering Exhibition and Conference in Abuja, says effort is being intensified to address constraints in all the segments of the Nigerian power industry to meet the target. Charles Alpha reports.
Nearly 85 million Nigerians, representing 46.09% of the population, record shows are not connected to the national grid. For those connected, power supply is a serious problem. Key actors are the 4th edition of the International Power Engineering Exhibition and Conference are preferring solutions to the challenges of non-reflective tariff, finance, lack of modern transmission lines, insufficient grid design, and power maintenance of infrastructure.
The way out for Nigeria is consistency with how we regulate and manage other sectors.
So when we operate with a document that is already operationalizing, then we can begin to see an industry that is moving and working.
Minister of Power Saleh Maman, in an address to the conference, revealed that Nigeria, in its target for the country's energy mix, is prepared to exploit its potentials.
While reducing the prevalence of self-generation, which constitutes 2/3 of present energy mix, by 2022, the federal government targets to achieve up to 75% access to electricity by connecting over 1.5 million households annually.
We will continue to collaborate with the Nigerian Institute of Power Engineers by organizing the International Power Engineering Exhibition.
The focus of the fourth EPICOM is to evaluate management models. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria and Senegal are to engage in a win-win partnership in the oil and gas sector, which will pave way for enhancing mutual cooperation among both countries. Minister of Petroleum and Energy of the Republic of Senegal, Aissatou Sophie Gladima, who is in Nigeria with a high-powered delegation, had an interface with the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Temepere Silva, in Abuja to discuss the next level in the partnership. Lydia Sampson has details.
Of discoveries off the Senegalese coast in 2014 has put the country on the map of oil exploration countries of the world. Determined to maximize its hydrocarbon resources, Senegal wishes to learn from Nigeria's over 50 years experience in the oil and gas sector. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Temepere Silva says Nigeria will share her experiences with Senegal in the entire value chain.
And a lot of lessons have been learned, a lot of mistakes have been made. We have made a lot of progress, and so we are in a position to at least impart some of this experience to our neighbors like you.
Recalling how in the early days when oil and gas was exclusively an expatriate affair, Temepere said the narrative has changed, with Nigeria attaining 43% in local content. For the visiting Minister of Petroleum and Energy, Senegal will join in the campaign to strengthen strategic partnership amongst African countries.
Together in order to maximizing and see any synergies that our countries can put together for the development of Africa.
They are unanimous that only Africans can develop Africa, even as the interface continued behind closed doors. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And in transportation, the Federal Capital Territory Administration will support activities of the National Automotive Design and Development Agency in its quest to making the nation's capital a green city through the development of an environmentally friendly public transportation system. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello disclosed this when he received an audience the management staff of NADDC, who paid him a courtesy call in Abuja. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu tells us more.
Driving the electric vehicle assembled in Nigeria, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello revealed that one of the long-term plans of the administration is the use of electric vehicles as a major means of public transportation, as obtainable in other developed countries of the world.
Having Abuja one of the greenest cities in the country, as you can see from the generation of vegetation.
What we have demonstrated today here are the electric vehicle, the Kene, and the Qt vehicle, both assembled in Nigeria. The Hyundai Kene is the first ever assembled electric vehicle in the country with a range of about 482 kilometers, and it charges at from any outlet. It is in respect of this vehicle that the NADDC has also gone ahead and developed solar-powered charging stations at Sokoto, Lagos, and we're working on the third one in Nsukka.
There was a presentation by a private group of companies on the proposed public transportation solutions. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
You're watching NTA News at 9. Time now to take some messages. The news continues shortly.
We don't almost reach, Abby. Okay. Guys, the mechanic is almost here.
Madam!
What do you think is wrong?
Madam, no be smart way they worry this your bike. Carburetor and radiator, you don't pafuka. If you want fix that, 50,000.
I guess I have no choice. Give me size 10 Allen Q.
Madam, the top of those point now. You need to buy new one. New one at 16,000.
Thanks for the help, guys. I'll be on my way now. Parenting your tools.
Ride the digital wave for the whole year with 1 terabyte of data for just 100,000 naira. Dial star 777#.
The Borno State Commissioner for Finance, Budget and Economic Planning, Honorable Adamu Alhaji Lawan, on behalf of the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Azalum, MNI, FNSE, government and the good people of Borno State heartily welcomes the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, Commissioners of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory to the 20th meeting of the Joint Planning Board the National Council on Development Planning with the theme Managing Nigerian Economy for Sustainable Development in a Challenging Environment to Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, the re-emerging home of peace and hospitality. Date 3rd to 5th August 2021. Venue, the Multipurpose Hall, Government House, Maiduguri. Welcome as we roll out Borno Hospitality. Our Borno, our success. Organizing Committee Announcer.
Make sense, we care for me, shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try of course. Profitable investment, everything is just a blend. If you know what's good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
See, nurse. She's saying she feels unwell, despite my efforts to practice good hygiene.
Mom says wash your hands to keep the germs away.
Washing hands is good, but surfaces can also have germs, and you shouldn't use just anything for cleaning them. Use Jik. Jik's formula has been scientifically proven to stay active for longer, giving you whitening and germ kill protection on a variety of surfaces. Disinfect to protect, just Jik it. Endorsed by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. Either fever or stomachache, I keep them away from junk food.
She also feeds me apples. She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
I've got no ice on me, but stick a freeze your knees. What up?
Unleash your cool side with Mentos Fresh Action Candy and its incredible soothing liquid filling. Get on stage now.
I be the cool guy that you want, fresh guy that you want. Mentos Fresh Action Candy. Get cool, stay fresh with the Mentos Fresh Action Candy.
Mentos Fresh Action Candy. Get cool, feel fresh. Now with vitamin C.
Now our hands we dey use protect each other. Now wetin dey make our hand powerful? The power to stop the coronavirus dey our hands. Wash your hands or make you sanitize every time. Make you dey always cough or sneeze inside your elbow. No comot for house o if you no wear face mask. Leave space make your hand no stretch reach your neighbor hand. Make you stay for house and no near people if you dey sick.
Welcome back as we go to the judiciary, where the federal government is fulfilling its international obligation towards the protection of human rights of Nigerians without fear or favor, in line with Paris principles. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami San, made this known during the inauguration of the 5th members of the Governing Council of the National Human Rights Commission in Abuja. Omenka Amarachukwu completes the report.
For over 4 years, National Human Rights Commission has been without a governing council, as the last council was dissolved in 2016. In March 2021, President Muhammadu Buhari appointed 15 council members who are expected to help in promoting the human rights of Nigerians. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, while inaugurating the council members, called on them to live up to expectation.
The government amended the National Human Rights Commission Act in 2010 for its operational independence by entrenching the tenure of members and ensuring adequate funding and effectiveness of the commission.
For the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, despite many challenges faced, the Commission has lived up to its mandate.
The Commission has operationalized the Human Rights Training Institute.
Chairperson of the Governing Council, Salamatu Hassani Suleiman, promised a result-driven approach.
I will pledge that we will put all hands on deck.
We certainly would want to carry the media along, let them know what is happening, let them help us bring out issues of human rights violations.
It is the expectation of Nigerians and other stakeholders that the new council members will further strengthen the programs and activities of the Commission in Abuja. Umenka Marachuku, NTA News.
At the meantime, a new administrator has been appointed for the National Judicial Institute. He is Justice Salisu Garba, the immediate past Chief Judge of the High Court of the FCT Abuja. Justice Garba took over from Justice Rosaline Bozimo, whose tenure lapsed on the last day of July 2021. Born on October 10, 1956, Justice Garba hails from Katsina State and was called to the Nigerian bar in 1984. His appointment takes immediate effect. In obedience to the Federal High Court Abuja order for the enforcement of their fundamental rights, the Department of State Services this Monday produced 8 associates of the acclaimed Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho in court. The applicants are among 12 individuals who filed a suit challenging their arrest and detention by the DSS at Sunday Igboho's residence in Ibadan. At Monday's hearing, counsel to the plaintiffs prayed for leave of court to amend their names. Since counsel to the DSS did not oppose the motion, the court granted it and adjourned the matter to Wednesday, 4th of August 2021. Now, the All Progressives Congress has cautioned the opposition People's Democratic Party not to turn itself into an alternate court by misrepresenting the decision of majority members of the Supreme Court that did not hinge its ruling on Section 183 of the 1999 Constitution as the PDP labors to spin. Salihu Abdullahi Ugbanara reports.
James Akpa Odoedehe, National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of APC, in a statement said, APC has resolved not to join issues with any self-acclaimed interpreters of their own laws, which include the PDP. The APC Caretaker Committee in the statement described as falsehoods all allegations by the opposition, as its activities have solid legal guidance and promise to remain solid on ground to conduct its congresses leading to the National Convention. The APC says its internal democracy and progressive politics, which have been deepened by the Governor Malabuni-led Caretaker Committee, demonstrating its sterling organizational capability, which led to credible world congresses. Meanwhile, the Chairman APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee and Yobe State Governor Malabuni has congratulated members of the party over the successful and peaceful conduct of the world congresses across the country. Mamman Mohammed, the Director General Press and Media Affairs to Governor Buni, in a statement said, reports from across the states reaching the caretaker chairman's office indicate that the congresses were generally successful and peaceful, characterized by massive turnout of members, which reflects the success of the membership registration and revalidation exercise. Governor Buni in the statement promised APC members that their choice of leaders at the world's congresses and indeed subsequent congresses will be respected as measures are in place to check and rectify anomalies arising from the congresses. Governor Buni urged aggrieved party members to seek redress through constituted channels in the party and reaffirmed that the congresses will give ownership of the party to the members through the bottom-top approach. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party is in consultation with its members towards taking legal action for the attainment of what it described as best of the electoral law in terms of amendment. Timothy Yusuf reports that the party is also considering to probe into its National Assembly members' role in the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
A meeting between the party and the caucus in the National Assembly to review the participation of members in the legislative activities of the National Assembly as it concerns the voting on transmission of results. This is what the party is working on.
The People's Democratic Party records that the last Edo and Ondo State's governorship election results were transmitted electronically to the satisfaction of all. National Chairman of the party, Prince Uche Secondus, explained that the process was seamless without confusion and therefore believes that electronic transmission of election results should be included in the amendment bill.
We have played our role. There are members there, both in the Senate and the House of Representatives, have played their roles. And I believe that they've done the best for the country.
Most times I do disagree with members of the PDP when they criticize so much, because I was a member and I felt that we could have done much then.
The People's Democratic Party, the national chairman, disclosed, has done so much to get the Electoral Act amended from the committee stage and public hearing in the spirit of national interest. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Security challenges bedeviling the country could be effectively tackled through community participation and support. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stated this while inaugurating the Rano Emirate Committee on Community Policing and other security facilities. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
Rano Emirate, which covers most part of the Kano South Senatorial District, has for long been identified by security agencies as a flashpoint. This informs the collaboration of Kano State Government with military and other agencies to flush out criminal elements from the area. In addition to the construction of a military training base in the surrounding Falgora forest by the state government, a new police station was constructed and 6 military operational vehicles donated by the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Ado Dogwa. Also donated was the zonal office of the Kano Road Traffic Agency, Karuta. Governor Ganduje is optimistic that with such support and active participation of the community, it will be easy for security operatives to overcome the nefarious activities of criminal elements.
We have to respect and we have to appreciate the House leader, that is Right Honorable Alhassan Dogwa.
Whoever you are, as long as you are a good Samaritan, as long as you are a good indigene, you must join hands with the government to provide security for lives and property of the people.
We promise to work assiduously to achieve our aim.
The governor, who used the occasion to inaugurate the Rano Emirate Committee on Community Policing, enjoined residents of the zone to be supportive towards its administration's commitment of making Kano safe and secure. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Now, a national dialogue geared towards improving the socio-economic conditions of the aged in the country has been held in Abuja. Convened by the National Senior Citizen Center, the meeting will afford stakeholders the opportunity to identify the key issues that will help in the implementation of the national policy document in place. Austin Anyebe reports.
Aging is one of the critical issues on the front burner of global discourse, as more than 12% of the global population is 60 years and above. In Nigeria, aging is a growing challenge against the background of socio-economic hardship, such as poor health facilities and lack of cash flow. It is the move towards reducing poverty among this class of citizens and to ensure their inclusiveness that this administration recognized the special place of older persons as agents of societal development.
Establishment of National Senior Citizen Center, the concerns of older persons are no longer handled in discretionary and arbitrary manner, but are now addressed comprehensively as detailed in the National Senior Citizen Center Act.
The Maiden Senior Citizens Forum Dialogue with the theme Leveraging Senior Citizens Partnership for Effective Service Delivery drew representatives of senior citizens from both urban and rural areas.
Just thought today to inform this dialogue so that you know what has been handed out to you. You know what is yours by right now, by law.
Stakeholders who spoke at the forum commended the president for rewriting the story of the pathetic plight of senior citizens in Nigeria. The Maiden Dialogue marked the takeoff of the Senior Citizen Center, which came to being in 2020. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with the Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoagege on his 58th birthday. President Buhari, in a statement, saluted his commitment to the development of Delta State and the country, noting his down-to-earth leadership style, foresight, and generosity in sharing ideas that have been pivotal in the harmonious relationship between the executive and the legislature. Hengino in our Lagos studio is standing by with more reports. Over to you, Hengino.
Thank you, Kene. Restoring peace and tranquility in troubled areas in the country has remained a priority to the Nigerian Army. This was evident at this year's exercise Livewire, organized by the Nigerian Army College of Logistics. The exercise, aimed at equipping participants with requisite logistics to enhance their confidence and competence, is also targeted at reinvigorating and empowering the mid-level officers. Lynn Leneke reports.
Over time, the Nigerian Army has been engaged in various theatres of war, be it astrometric or otherwise.
Our special idea, 8-4.
Military operations depend largely on combat readiness, which include equipping officers with modern trends and strategies for combating security challenges. And to ensure the target is met, the Nigerian Army College of Logistics is restructuring models to include field practicals.
A soldier is as fit as what he eats, is as fit as what he wears, is as fit as the arms and ammunition that he carries along to war. So that is where logistics come into play.
The exercise Livewire, which took place in Papalanto and Ilaro communities in Ogun State, is among requirements for award of certificates at the end of the course. It is important because of the crucial role of mid-level officers in the Army hierarchy. Exercise Livewire exposed participants to proper planning before commencement of operations, build-up and deployment of forces.
The Chief of Army Staff has given us 4 pillars upon which he has hinged his vision for the Army. And these are professionalism, readiness, sound administration and cooperation. Then of course for professionalism and readiness, that is why we are here. We are training logisticians to make them professionals and to equip them with what they need to be ready to support the Army in all phases of operations.
The Nigerian Army is committed to restoring peace and tranquility in troubled parts of the country. NACOL is established to meet the logistics needs of officers and men during internal and external operations. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
The huge investment opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is propelling the Standards Organization of Nigeria not only to heighten surveillance, but seek collaboration in the quest to stamp out fake products. The agency has seen journalists as partners partner in progress, and it is soliciting more cooperation to help diminish the staring inflow of substandard products. Michael Olale reports.
Apart from the huge financial losses incurred from the importation of fake and substandard products, there are major concerns as regards loss of lives and even health challenge. This explained why the agency, saddled with the responsibility of imprinting standard as a national trademark, has continually called for synergy to end the war. The media is responding through reportage and investigative journalism, and the Standards Organization of Nigeria wants the efforts to be sustained, as this is assisting in reducing the influx of fake products.
With the help of the federal government, we are building new labs, new offices, where we'll make sure our activities reach every nook and cranny of this country.
Regardless of not being present at the seaports, tracking of sample is still being adopted, while the framework for the regulation of goods distributed through the rail is being formulated.
What we are doing is making sure that those things that are also coming into the country, like we have a programming on ground that is called the SunCap, are taking care of those ones coming from outside the country to make sure that those things that are coming from outside the country are of quality, they meet the requirements of the standard, and before they are set out.
Amplifying investigative journalism in keeping track on activities of manufacturers who compromise the system for safe gains, the reporters present here believe will further help to end the menace. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
It's time for another break. Network News continues shortly.
Helen Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission? Yes, but how? Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow!
Up until a few years ago, Nigeria produced far less than it consumed, spending up to $22 billion annually on importation. Then came the import policy by the federal government. Now, to survive, the nation must learn to be self-sufficient. And so far, we are on the verge of achieving this through the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria and other stakeholders in support of local farmers and efforts of value chain entrepreneurs. Now, the goal of creating 10 million jobs in 5 years is gradually being actualized. Mission possible. Let's buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
Every day, different forces try to bring us down, but we never forget who we are. We are Africans. We have the power. Get plugged in. Let's go.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on, so baby can keep on exploring and you keep doing great, Mom. Huggies, recommended by 9 out of 10 mothers for comfort.
Kene suffers from indigestion. His twin Tayi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Oh God, Greg, you want to buy cough medicine again? Why
haven't you gone for a test like I advised?
Test? So that the hospital people say I have COVID-19? No.
How about Greg? Not all coughs mean you have COVID-19. COVID-19 cough and symptoms are different from other illnesses like tuberculosis.
Solomon, why don't you ever stay at your post? Why?
This your cough. You need to check Amo. When I had a bad cough, Madam told me to go for tuberculosis test. After the cough syrups didn't work, they discovered I had tuberculosis. After the free test, I was even treated for free. Now I'm fine.
Solomon is right. Oga Greg, take Amo. Make you dey sure. Because who no go, no go no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB tests and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the test. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome back as we bring you business news with Musa Abubakar.
Thank you, Kene. The country's external reserve inched up to $33.38 billion in July, reversing declines suffered in 2 previous months. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the balances in the reserves rose by $60 million to $33.38 billion from $33.32 billion at the end of June. The increase followed $300 million accretion to the reserves in a 2 weeks upward trend from $33.08 billion on July 12th. And now to stocks. Equities market closed Monday's session on a positive note. The all-share index appreciated by 0.15% to close at 38,604.72 basis points, and equity capitalization at 20.1 trillion naira, 244.3 million shares value at 1.9 billion naira, exchange hands in 4,609 deals. Transcorp, CNI Leasing PLC and FCMB led to the activity chart. That's business news. Back to you, Kene.
Thanks indeed, Musa. Heads of tertiary institutions in Nigeria have been advised to look inwards with regards to the academic staff training and development for proper fund management. Chairman of TED Fund Board of Trustees Kashim Ibrahim Imam said this during an interactive session and reconciliation of records with beneficiaries of the intervention program in Asaba. Onyinye Joshua Ifani has more.
With about 236 institutions of higher learning in Nigeria, the federal government has earmarked over 300 billion naira for the training of lecturers in each university.
More than 30,000 lecturers have been trained at master's and PhD levels across Nigeria. This is remarkable by every criteria, whatever yardstick that is utilized.
Director, Academic Staff Training and Development, Mohammed Sani Suleiman, said the visit is also to reconcile records with beneficiaries and interact with returnee scholars to share their experiences. Some of the returnees who had their PhD or master's programs abroad, while commending government's effort, expressed some reservations.
We wrote the commission, sir, and we asked, it was tagged stranded scholars.
The visit continues to other institutions. In Asaba, Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi, NTA News.
Public office holders must remain worthy of trust reposed in them through committed leadership skill that embodies the core values of equity, integrity, and good governance. This was the message of the Secretary to the Governments of the Federation, Boz Mustafa, to newly appointed members of governing boards and chief executive officers of government agencies and parastatals during their inauguration. Debola Brusklin Sunday reports.
Service remains the major service provider in Nigeria and the operating arm with the responsibility of implementing government policies and programs. These heads of government establishments from 8 agencies, parastatals, and commissions are here following the divergent interpretations to the roles they are expected to play, which the Federal Ministry of Budgets and National Planning said is key to the nation's development plan.
Additionally, monitoring is to be introduced in government websites to enable Nigerians post pictures of projects status vis-a-vis the cash that we have released from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Plan.
At the end of the current series of the induction programs, the Bureau of Public Service Reforms intends to develop policy briefs to advise government on the challenges hindering the seamless operations of the governing boards of some of our parastatals, agencies and commissions and profile possible solutions.
The government is able and willing at all times to sanction any erring chief executive that violates the provisions of the Establishment Act.
No sacred cow?
No sacred cow.
The Impact Assessment Program, which is 7th in the series, is organized by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Back in 2010, the sum of 9.3 billion naira was released by the federal government to insurance companies for life group insurance and payment of death benefits for health workers. The Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, in a strategic engagement with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo recently in Abuja, commended and appreciated the federal government for its action and giving recognition to the importance of insurance to the general public. President and Chairman of the Council, Bola Onibogi, who led the delegation, says insurance in the country before the present administration had been relegated to the background.
Insurance works in Nigeria today. There is no more blanket of fog in the insurance industry. Everything now is open. If you have any issue with insurance company, maybe not paying your claims, you have NCRIB, the professional body, that you can report to. And most especially, I want to emphasize that for all your insurance needs, involve registered insurance brokers.
Elsewhere, the Benue State Police Command has rescued the wife of the Commissioner for Land Survey and Solid Minerals, Anne Unenge, and her driver, who were kidnapped by unknown gunmen 4 days ago. The victims were presented to Governor Samuel Otom at Command's headquarters, Makudi. Charles Abba reports that 3 of the abductors were killed.
It will be recalled that the wife of the Commissioner for Lands, Survey and Solid Minerals, Anne Unenge, was kidnapped alongside her driver by unknown gunmen in Makudi, with the abductors demanding a ransom of 51 million naira. Governor Samuel Otom head Operations Zenda arm of the Benue State Police Command for killing 3 of the abductors after a gun duel and rescuing the victims without ransom. He pledged his continuous commitment to supporting security operatives to effectively fight criminality in the state.
And I want to send a message to many criminals or would-be criminals. You can say that many days will be for the thief, but one day will be for the owner, as you can see today.
The governor further ordered for the immediate demolition of the apartment where the victims were confined. The Benue State government recently donated 6 Healers vans to Operations Zenda to ease its operations. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Let's take some messages now. The news continues shortly.
She's saying she feels unwell, despite my efforts to practice good hygiene.
Mom says wash your hands to keep the germs away.
Washing hands is good, but surfaces can also have germs, and you shouldn't use just anything for cleaning them. Use Jik. Chick's formula has been scientifically proven to stay active for longer, giving you whitening and germ kill protection on a variety of surfaces. Disinfect to protect, just Chick it. Endorsed by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until one day, James discovered something big. He can finally say, our home, our football.
Get GoTV plus 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira. You self fit enjoy your Bunga football leagues where day, plus better cup competitions this football season. GoTV, love it.
Helen Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission? Yes, but how? Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach. Wow!
Welcome back. Determined to create more opportunities for Nigerians and close the unemployment gap in the country, the federal government has over the years prioritized employment generation by integrating job creation in all its major policies, projects and programs. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this on Monday at the formal presentation of the research report of Course 2029 of the National Defense College titled Creating Jobs Opportunities for Africa's Largest Youth Population at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo told the delegation that the key question that has always been asked regarding any government policy is how many jobs it will create. And aside these, there have also been several engagements with different policy bodies and ideas concerning job creation, stressing that government's involvement must be in creating the enabling environment. The Vice President explained some government programs all targeted at creating job opportunities for millions of Nigerian youths. Commending the management of the Defense College, the Vice President said the National Defense College Research Initiative has been extremely useful in agitating the ideas, thoughts, and policies that could influence the direction of government. Earlier in his remarks, the Commandant of the National Defense College, Rear Admiral Oladele Daji, said the presentation of the research report was in response to the request by the Vice President to look into job creation scenarios and strategy. He noted that Course 29 of the college, which comprised 96 participants across services within and outside the country, was presenting the report in fulfillment of the Higher Defense Management and Strategic Research. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Up next is sports updates, and Tamara Ibiwe is our guide.
Thank you.
President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the former chairman, governing board of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, retired Major General Jonathan India Garba, over the death of his mother, Mrs. Theresa Garba. The president prayed for God Almighty to reward late Theresa Garba's good deeds and grant her eternal rest. The death has been announced of Dr. Emmanuel Adesonya Abiodun of Iberu Remo, the father of Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun. He died on Monday, August 2nd, 2021, at the age of 89 after a brief illness. His passage was announced by his son and Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, a retired teacher who was fondly called Baba Teacher in recognition of his dedication to duty towards impacting knowledge and morals. The late Dr. Emmanuel Adesonya Abiodun is survived by his wife, Mrs. Victoria Abiodun, many children who include Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, grand and great-grandchildren. And that's Network News tonight. Many thanks to you for watching, but don't forget to be a star with NTA as we wage war against rape and rapists. I am Kene Ima Aburike. Good night.